Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey there, happy Friday. I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. I'm trying to bring back the late night joke segment on Friday, but the jokes just haven't been there. The only joke I really felt like sharing was from Fallon, who said, President Trump, after not being seen in public for several days, appeared in the Oval Office, which means it's 6 more weeks of dictatorship. Send your letters to Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Kimmel will be coming to Brooklyn. He'll record at the Brooklyn Academy of Music's Howard Gilman Opera House September 29th through October 3rd. One of the guests will be Stephen Colbert, who has just kicked off the final season of The Late Show. Oh, that reminds me. Listen to last week's Letterman podcast. Not the one that came out today. I have no idea. Maybe today's is awesome. Didn't listen to it yet. But the one that came out last Friday, Mark Malkoff dropped by. They started talking Carson. At some point, Mitch Hedberg came up. Really good. Listen to that one. From Deadline, the headline, there were signs that Please Don't Destroy was coming to an end on SNL. Oh no. Deadline says the trio radically reduced the amount of videos they produced for the show last year. Well, it was also the 50th anniversary, and there was a lot of big celebrities. Across 21 episodes, in season 49, they had done 10. In season 48, they had done 11. In their first year, they got 7 on. And also Ben Marshall will be one of the full-time cast members of SNL 51. From GQ, the headline, Jay Kelly should finally net Adam Sandler the Oscar he deserves. I agree. I haven't even seen the movie, but just on principle, Adam Sandler doing a dramatic role and not a stupid comedy, let's give him the Oscar just for that. GQ writes, we've always known that Adam Sandler has the range. It's thrilling to see when the Sandman breaks his pattern, and with Jay Kelly, he delivers one of his most subdued performances. It also happens to be one of his greatest. Adam Sandler plays Ron, the longtime manager to Jay Kelly, who's played by George Clooney. The character Jay Kelly is a charismatic magnet, attracting attention everywhere he moves. He's lonely, but never alone, surrounded by a team that circles him like subservient vultures. GQ tells us the beauty of Sandler's performance is that you can see Ron's joy and optimism drain from him. Initially, Ron is bubbly with optimism, calling Jay by the nickname Puppy and never letting his stress show through his smile. Then some spoilers. I don't want to ruin an Adam Sandler dramatic movie for you, but then some spoilers, and we see Adam show some range there. And they write, if Adam Sandler wins an Oscar in the year of Happy Gilmore 2, that will make the victory even sweeter. I'm rooting for you, Adam Sandler dramatic actor. Weird Al explains to the LA Times why he hasn't released a parody song in more than a decade. He says because there's no longer a monoculture where it's more obvious what the hits are. Al had recently done some smaller tours where he was playing things that weren't hits as such things are in the Yankiverse. I just made that term up. I like it, right? Yeah, sounds a little dirty, but it's not. Weird Al said, the smaller tours cleansed the ballad for me and were fun for my band and the hardcore fans, but now we're back to playing the big tent. We're ramping up the silliness. The article even gets into what Weird Al calls Inception-like. There's somebody named Steve Goody who parodied the Weird Al original Hardware Store and did a parody of that. Now, Hardware Store is not a parody. It's a Weird Al original. But the parody by Steve Goody is called Dumbledore. And Steve Goody even has a one-man show called Al, the Weird Tribute. If you go see Al at one point in every show, they cover a classic song and do a straight version of it. Some examples include Paul Simon's You Can Call Me Al. All right, that's a little on the nose. George Harrison's What Is Life? And even Helen Reddy's I Am Woman. Al says it's a rotating slot. Almost every night is something different. The fans get into it. Although when he talks to them about it, he sometimes finds their reactions baffling. People sometimes say, oh, you guys can really play. You can really do real music. And Al says, what do you think we've been doing? Just because the words are funny, it's not real music? Newsweek asked Marc Maron if how he preps for a special has changed over the years. Specifically because he's more high profile than he was at another point and he gets more attention. Does that affect the crafting of the material? Maron said, I don't know if it has anything to do with the name or profile because I never really registered that as a lot or being enough. It's really more about me as a person. What have I learned? What matters? What doesn't matter? As I get older, what do I really give a hoot about? And as a comic, what can I do? What risk can I take? And I think over time, me talking about myself, probably kind of plate spinning and more neurotic. But as I get deeper into myself, I think that last special from Bleak to Dark offered me an opportunity, tragically, to try and wrap my brain around grief and death and loss in a funny way. And I think working those muscles or figuring out how to do that has really opened up a whole other area for me to take comedic risks, which I think we see with the trauma bit in this one and then revisiting grief at the end. But I think my neurotic problems or my problems of behavior at least have solutions now so I can move through them differently and make them more relatable. Because I used to assume that everybody when I was younger was angry and bitter like me, but they weren't. Josh Blue has a new memoir. He said not everything made the final cut. He wrote some chapters centered on his experiences with marriage and fatherhood. Josh says that can come later in a different book. This one feels like it should be more about me and my path. It is called Something to Stare At. Josh says, I put the book up on my website. I thought I'd get a couple of orders, but I had 500 already. I'm just overwhelmed with the fact that this many people have ordered the book without any reviews because they just want to support me. And they know it's going to be a good story because they love my stand-up and they love my spirit and personality. What would he like to do in the future? Josh says, I think porn would be fun. No, I've always wanted my own TV show. I want my own sitcom. I feel like the world is ready for a disabled lead, and I feel like I'm the guy to do it. If you have an idea of what you want to do and you put it in the world, it happens. Obviously, you have to put the work in, but so many times people are afraid to even take the first step of dreaming. I think sometimes people have an idea of what a disability is and what this book will be, and it's not woe is me or inspirational. It's not who I am. I'm just telling my story. It's a unique story, and I feel like there's more to come. It's not done. I worked with him, like all my stories now, they're a million years ago, but I worked with him back in the day, and he was a very cool guy. You know who else was cool back in the day? Well, he's still cool, but I used to work with him a lot back in the day. Bill Engvall, who has unretired. He's at Treasure Island Casino tonight. Is it a comeback? Bill Engvall told the Star Tribune, yes, I'm back out. In hindsight, I should have just taken a break. I got burned out, but I missed that juice you get from an audience. You also create a lifestyle that's got to be fed. Nobody's coming to me anymore saying, we'll take care of your bills. My celebrity recognition factor is way down. Used to be I could walk in a restaurant and they'd say, we've got a table for you. We're going to take care of your dinner. I'm not going to lie. That's fun. When did he know retirement was a mistake? Within 6 months. At first, I was bound and determined to make it work. Then I caught myself watching The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And that's when I knew it was time to get back on the road.
Comedy stock market.
It is Friday, where we make our comedy stock picks. We're going to buy some Nate Bargatze today. Why? He's hosting the Emmys on September 14th. Check your calendar. All of a sudden, there's going to be a lot of Nate press, and it's going to be super positive. The media likes him. Let's buy Nate. Let's buy Adam Sandler. Johnny Mac, you're buying Adam Sandler stock? That's right. Dramatic actor Adam Sandler. Let's get him the Oscar. Let's load up on some Sandler. Let's sell SNL. The haters are out there. The bar's too high. There's no way SNL 51 can live up to SNL 50, which wasn't even that great of a season other than the celebration. New cast. People are going to be mad. They're going to be mad about the guy from Kill Tony. Forget it. Let's sell SNL. However, let's buy stock in Ben Marshall from the Please Don't Destroys. He's got a lot of charisma, and I think he's going to have a great year. Let's sell our stock in the paper. Remember last Friday we loaded up on the paper? Johnny Mac, why are you selling right now? The show just launched last night and they announced season 2. That's right. That's how we make money on comedy stock market. We sell high. Let's get out on the paper. And short sell, we don't have any stock in this, but let's short sell Dancing with the Stars. Now, why are we short selling Dancing with the Stars, Johnny Mac? They have announced the cast of season 34, and you know who's on the cast of season 34? Andy Richter. That's right. Dancing with the Stars is taking on the curse of Andy Richter. Andy Richter can get any show canceled, including Conan O'Brien. You're messing with the devil there. I don't know what you're doing. Nobody's tuning in going, oh, cool, Andy Richter's on. You're only taking on the curse. We will sell Dancing with the Stars stock, and that is your comedy stock market. We do this every Friday. Are you in Chicago? Go watch them name the street after Bob Newhart. Got to get there by 11 a.m. The street on North Sheridan Road between Ardmore and Thorndale will be renamed in honor of Bob Newhart. Today would have been Bob Newhart's 96th birthday. Bob Newhart, born in 1929 in Oak Park, attended St. Ignatius College Prep and Loyola University, where a theater bears his name. And the Toronto Guardian caught up with comedian Sidesh Pai. P-A-I? Pai? Sidesh combines sharp wit, clever wordplay, and self-deprecating humor, crafting one-liners and observational jokes. Pretty generic. I'm rooting for you. Let's see. Who are your favorite comedians growing up? Russell Peters and Jerry Seinfeld. Okay. Who are your favorite comedians now? Zorna Garg and Mark Normand. All right, I think that helps us zone in on your lane of comedy. Sidesh says Mark Normand is like a machine gun of one-liners, which resonates with my own comedic style. What is your pre-show ritual? Meditation. Interesting. And that is your comedy news for today. Normal episodes all weekend if you would like the program without commercial interruption. Go on Apple Podcasts. There's a banner there. It says uninterrupted listening. You click that, And then for just $5 a month, you get this show with no commercials. You also get the other stuff on the network, like 5 Good News Stories, which I host 3 or 4 times a week. I heard secretly that there might be a 4th episode starting next week, unofficially. Don't tell anyone. You get Palace Intrigue. Harry's coming to the UK Monday, or maybe he's not. I don't know. No one knows. You read one news article, they're like, Harry's going to meet with the king Monday, and then the next one's like, no, they're not. I've been calling it Schrodinger's Harry, for those of you who follow philosophy. Anyway, $5 a month, no commercials. It's just 17 cents a day-ish, depending on how you do math and how many days there are in the month. See you tomorrow.